As much as I love Fortnite, sometimes there are things in it that make you just wanna... And whether it's C4 or that one minigun henchman who can instant down anyone for some god-awful reason. Alright, seriously though, can anybody stop that man? Today we put together the 15 most hated things to reflect and help Epic remove the lesser enjoyable things in life. Hit that like button for a free piggyback from Fred, and let's get right into it. Number 15, Henchmen being overpowered. Being eliminated by a normal player feels bad enough, but one of the most infuriating moments in Fortnite doesn't even involve any actual players. First introduced in Chapter 2, Season 2 at various locations around the map, such as the Rig and the Grotto, you can find henchmen that are AI controlled, meaning it's a literal bot that you're fighting. As the season has progressed, henchmen's skill have significantly improved, especially in the case of their accuracy, as some players have noticed that they have little to no bloom. Not only that, but now, toward the end of the season, you can actually be targeted through builds and even while you're gliding through the air. I'm not sure whether to be impressed by the capabilities of Epic's AI code or annoyed at the fact that these henchmen hit more insane clips than I do. Number 14, the latest version of team killing and being a troll. All the way back to Chapter 1, Season 2, Epic Games made the decision to remove friendly fire from Fortnite's team-based modes in an effort to reduce intentional griefing and trolling. Gone were the days of that random guy in your squad eliminating you simply because you managed to snag the RPG before he did. However, since the start of Chapter 2, a new mechanic has been introduced which allows you to pick up and carry your teammates while they're knocked. In theory, this is a great idea that has allowed for some hilarious moments and unbelievable plays. But the problem is that rather than shooting you, your teammates can pick you up and hold you until your time runs out, preventing you from being revived. Just for some loot. Even if this is a less hostile way of trolling, it's still incredibly annoying and needs a fix. But keep your eyes glued, because number 13 is Sky's Grappler. I don't even know where to begin with this one. When the Grappler was first introduced in Season 5, there were a lot of mixed feelings, but it was ultimately considered to be a fun item which could be used for some impressive plays, if you had the skill to do so. Once Season 7 rolled around, Epic actually decided to vault the Grappler without giving any real reason as to why. In Chapter 2, Season 2, however, the Grappler was unvaulted as a mythic item and can be obtained by defeating Sky at the Shard. The problem is that it's been seriously buffed to the point that it's actually ridiculous to fight an enemy equipped with it. The Mythic Grappler allows players to effortlessly take the high ground thanks to its infinite uses. This situation is even worse when you realize that the person you're fighting hasn't had to use nearly as many materials as you have, putting them at a major advantage in almost every scenario. Speaking of scenarios, we've got some scenarios that you guys can take part in, so make sure you stay tuned. Number 12, Henchman POI music. So you've decided you want to try and get your hands on a mythic weapon, huh? You land at your desired point of interest and begin fighting back against all the AI henchmen, only to have your ears ringing just a few moments later because of how incredibly loud the henchman music is. Okay, maybe I'm exaggerating a little, unless you were unlucky enough to have your headset up too high before landing near some henchmen. But the audio levels at these locations are completely absurd. It's so imbalanced, making it difficult to hear anything other than the music, causing you to be ambushed by players or bots that you couldn't even hear coming. The only solution to this problem is to completely disable your music volume in the settings. Now, this would be fine if it didn't also mean that all emote music also gets disabled. Until Epic makes this long overdue change to the henchman music volume, there's not much you can do. In the meantime, I'll just avoid these locations so that I can still hear the sweet sounds of the llama bell emote. Come on. Number 11, lack of patch notes. Among the numerous changes and refinements Epic Games made to Fortnite with the release of Chapter 2, one of the biggest and most frustrating changes was actually to their communication efforts with the community. Long gone are the days of beautifully personalized, lengthy patch notes for each week's update. Now, we're barely lucky enough to get a list of new weapons when the latest season launches. And to be completely honest, I can't come up with a reason as to why Epic would stop providing patch notes to their game's players. From a diehard fan's perspective, it's very frustrating to question whether your favorite weapon was nerfed or if that one item that you're looking for was vaulted. This is also super problematic when you realize that the community is going to start listing changes themselves, which leads to loads of misinformation being passed around. As Fortnite creators who pride ourselves in accuracy, it's unfortunate that we can't provide you with a full list of changes that Epic has made in a reasonable amount of time. Because not everything is noticed right away. It's not too late, Epic. We'd still love to see patch notes come back in Season 3. Smash like if you agree. But number 10, Mythic Weapons. New in Chapter 2, Season 2, various mythic weapons can be obtained by defeating different bosses located at certain locations around the map. These bosses are also surrounded and guarded by AI enemies, and depending on which boss you defeated, you can be awarded with the minigun, drum gun, assault rifle, grappler, or kaboom bow. However, Sky's assault rifle, Midas's drum gun, and Brutus's minigun are mythic weapons which are nearly impossible to compete against. Sure, defeating a boss and its AI goons should be rewarding, but facing an opponent who's managed to obtain one of these weapons is downright unfair. It just isn't an enjoyable gameplay experience, okay? These weapons are so powerful that on many occasions, players with a good ping have been eliminated while constantly holding walls in a futile attempt at defending themselves. The combination of increased rate of fire and buff damage is just so brutal, so I'm definitely looking forward to Epic readjusting mythic weapons or just getting rid of them entirely in Season 3. Number 9. Game-ruining glitches. Glitches are a staple of Fortnite, and the player base certainly has a love-hate relationship with them. While sometimes they can provide insane advantages and lead to some hilarious moments, other times they can make you lose a really good game or even stop someone from winning a tournament. With Chapter 2's arrival, we were given tons of game-breaking glitches, most of which have yet to be addressed in any sort of way. There's a glitch with the boat where you can just fall under the map and your whole squad gets eliminated. There's a glitch with the zip lines that eliminate you with fall damage, and there are countless glitches with the Grappler, Choppa, crash pads, and so many more items inside of Chapter 2. Like I said earlier, glitches can definitely be fun, but this many at once leads to more bad times than good. So Epic, if you're listening, can we please just take a look at a few of those before Season 3? Number 8. Dying to campers when opening vaults. Fortnite's new vault mechanic sounds like an amazing idea on paper, taking the risk of putting yourself in a high-pressure situation for a chance at some amazing loot that sets you up for the rest of the game. Worth it! In reality, though, it's not always worth trying to infiltrate the vaults first. For starters, you can't build anywhere near its entrance, leaving you extremely vulnerable while waiting for its ridiculously long opening animation to finish. Oh, and if you thought supply drop campers were a problem, just wait until you run into our good friends, the Vault Campers. What's that? You eliminated everyone here so that you can get the good loot? Too bad I'm just hiding in the corner and get all the loot now because you can't defend yourself while opening the vault. Got him. With how risky these vaults are, I think I'll stick to getting my loot from Fred. At least he wouldn't betray me. Isn't that right, Fred? Fred? Number 7. The Kwibi event. Fortnite's partnerships and in-game events throughout the years have overall been memorable, to say the least. From the very first rocket launch to the black hole and everything in between, Epic picks its features carefully and always delivers. However, fittingly, for the first couple seasons of Chapter 2 and its lack of in-game events thus far, Epic's recent partnership with Kwibi was extremely underwhelming and pretty disappointing. If you haven't ever heard of it, I don't blame you. Kwibi is a streaming service who premiered the reboot series Punk'd at Fortnite's Risky Reels. But due to the low quality of the content and Epic's apparent lack of support for the event, it kinda just flew over everyone's radar and we were left thinking, that's it? Now that I think of it, the whole Kwibi situation is very similar to that Wreck-It Ralph partnership. So much wasted potential. Number 6. Too many bots! Chapter 2, Season 2 really started off with a bang. They had us drop into the map with some really hype music playing, and you played against an entire lobby of bots which made you feel like a Fortnite god. After seeing this enthusiastic reaction from the community, Epic proceeded to start slowly rolling bots into regular matches to boost players' morale. While the introduction of bots was amazing for new players, it seemed as if more and more AI were getting added into everyone's lobbies, even the top-tier players. And while it felt good to get a few extra eliminations, players began quickly realizing that they were getting into lobbies where over 50% of the players weren't actually real players. This caused an upset in the community, as well as myself, if you couldn't tell, as players stated the game was too boring with that many bots. It seems like Epic has turned it down a bit since the community spoke out, but you can definitely still get those games where the whole lobby is pretty much bots. Here's to hoping that Season 3 can find the perfect balance of both. Number 5. C4. I think we can all agree that one of the most discussed aspects of Fortnite is when Epic Games introduces a new item to the game. Usually the community is quick to make up its mind whether an item is overpowered, useless, or just meh. To add on to that, Epic is typically pretty quick to react to the community feedback and adjust items as needed. Every now and then, however, looking at you, Mech, an item will get added to the game that's overwhelmingly hated, but Epic just won't budge on their decision to adjust it. The remote explosives are another perfect example of this. With a ludicrous amount of damage in each little bundle of chaos, remote explosives offer very little counterplay to anyone unfortunate enough to be targeted by one of these things. Regardless if you've boxed yourself in or not, 2 or more C4 tossed your way usually means that you're about to have your game ruined. The most frustrating part of this is that Epic actually vaulted the remote explosives for a period of time before adding them back in Season 2 with no explanation. Not only this, nice, but they also nerfed C4 in competitive and left them unchanged in core playlists, which is where they're most broken. Number 4, skill-based matchmaking. Skill-based matchmaking is a controversial topic that isn't exclusive to Fortnite, and some would even argue that it's ruining their favorite games. In case you aren't familiar with it, let's keep it simple. If you're good at the game, you'll be matched against good players. If you're not good at the game, you'll be matched against other low-skill players. Depending how you put it, skill-based matchmaking actually doesn't sound too bad, but it's super problematic when you remember that video games are meant to be played for fun. If you want to play competitively, you can easily go into the competitive playlist. Getting home from work or school and sitting down to relax and play Fortnite only to be bombarded with a lobby full of sweaty tryhards isn't fun for anyone. It also makes it extremely difficult to improve if you're constantly engaging enemies of your own skill level, where the outcome of the fight is usually going to be based on who has more resources. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this one in the comments below. Should Epic restrict skill-based matchmaking to Arena? Comment down below. But number 3 is going to be camping teleport spots. Very fitting for the spy theme that Epic took with Chapter 2, Season 2. The dumpsters, the porta potties, the other teleportation devices found around the map have been a big talking point in the community. While they're great for getting out of a sticky situation or rotating away from the storm, many players quickly realize that this feature can be taken advantage of. Simply camping outside and building around one of these locations, you can usually get a quick and easy elimination with little to no effort. Campers are frustrating as it is, but it's even worse when you've just gotten away from a group of enemies, only to be literally thrown into the arms of more enemies who did nothing but wait for you to show up. And if you're one of those evil porta potty campers, do us all a favor and stop it. Get some help. Number 2, heavy sniper. Epic Games and the Fortnite community have always had an interesting relationship when it comes to weapon balance. There have been plenty of overpowered combinations throughout the game's life. I'm sure a lot of you remember the days of the double pump or the pump and P90. This trend of questionable balance continues in Chapter 2 with the latest annoying combinations revolving around the heavy sniper rifle. Paired with a rocket launcher and a little bit of timing, you can instantly take down an enemy's wall, only to deal loads of damage when a rocket immediately follows. This same trick also works with another sniper as well for a quick elimination. Now, I'm not going to judge anybody for abusing the power of the sniper, but maybe we shouldn't have a weapon that can destroy a wall with just one bullet. Number 1, season lengths in Chapter 2. As frustrating as it is to hear Fortnite's once biggest fans claim that the game is now dead, I can't help but understand the community's frustrations. Part of what made Fortnite great in Chapter 1 was logging in each and every week and experiencing all kinds of new content. Now, updates are far and few between, and seasons last significantly longer than they used to. During Chapter 1, the average length of each season was only 71 days. Now, in Chapter 2, that average has increased to 120. With all the madness happening in the world today, it's completely understandable that Season 3 has been delayed, but hopefully Epic can get back to their normal schedule soon and start giving us regular length seasons again. And hey, if you enjoyed this video, go ahead and like it and check out another video right over here. I'll see you guys over there. This has been Sam from Top 5 Gaming. Click the annotation if you have not already. Subscribe to the channel if you're new, and keep it right here on Top 5 Gaming.